And we are live. We had the mic muted, so we had to say it twice. But yeah, here we go. Here's the question. Here's the debate. And I know a lot of people out there have been making videos, especially after Errol Spence's last fight. Now, I've said from the beginning, and as far back as I can remember, I don't rate Ugas. I've never rated him. I've never seen him as being very good. You could ask UGC Flame over there on his panel, aka Black. I've always said I don't see what people see in Ugas. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that good of a fighter. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Just got a text. But yeah, I've never rated him. I don't think he's that good. Every time people try to big up him, I said he's not that good. I don't see it. Like I've said from the beginning, people shit on Terence Crawford for going undisputed. We're just opening up the blinds. At 140, however, he did it undisputed, undefeated, and Ugas couldn't even make it through 140 without taking L's. And being that 147 pounds, in my opinion, is more competitive than 140. 140 today is more competitive than it used to be, but still, 147 pounds welterweight is more competitive than 140. I've never rated Ugas. And, you know, I'm not taking anything away from his Manny win, and it may sound like I am, but to me, Manny Pacquiao got set up. It looked like Ugas had been training for Manny. Manny was not training for Ugas. He got in there with Ugas, and it was a close fight. I don't see it as a blowout like some people say Ugas beat him. I don't see it. I really don't see it. What's going on, moderator, aka regulator? I don't see the Manny Pacquiao versus Ugas fight as a complete blowout, shutout. I just don't see it. I still don't see it. I've watched it more than once. So I would like people to go back and watch that fight and really score it without emotions, and you'll see that even with an unprepared Manny, he did a lot better than a lot of people like to lead on against Ugas. And again, I must say, I don't believe in coincidences. There's no way Ugas' opponent had the same injury as Errol Spence on the same day when it was announced. No, I believe that they had planned that. They set Manny up to fail, and he did. It is what it is. But when you had Errol Spence fighting Ugas, he knew he was going to fight Ugas. He knew who he was training for. There was no last-minute changes to put an opponent in front of him he wasn't ready for. He knew it, unlike Manny. So, while he did get the win, and I give him the win, it is what it is. It's not the same as if a guy was training to fight you and then he fought you. You were a last-moment stand-in. He was unprepared, ill-equipped, and like I said, to me, it looked like Ugas had been training the whole time for him. That's my opinion. But I digress. I've never seen Ugas as being that great of a fighter, but I don't take away from the win of Spence over Ugas. Even though I don't really rate Ugas, what I watch Errol Spence do is stuff that he normally doesn't do. To me, Errol Spence is a pressure fighter that comes forward. He's very straight up and down. I said it before. You saw him struggle with Sean Porter when Sean Porter was doing lateral movement, coming in close. You saw him struggle really bad against Kell Brook, who was coming down after that loss to Triple G. He's never really had good body movement, but in his fight against Ugas, all that changed. All that changed. To me, Errol Spence Jr. is a good, clean puncher, and I said he has a good boxing IQ more than Ugas before going into that fight, and that's why I felt like Ugas stood a little chance of winning if Spence was 100%. And the thing about it is, even if Spence wasn't 100%, I still don't know if Ugas could beat him. I really don't, because I don't really rate Ugas. Never have. Moving on from that. The way that Errol Spence was moving side to side, setting up combos, chaining his punches together, not doing onesie-twosies here and there and pushing forward. He was doing it more educated, doing it off angles. I don't know. I don't know how this fight turns out. I had it a 50-50 fight always. Always before this Ugas fight, I had it a 50-50 fight, regardless if I felt like Spence was ducking Crawford or not, which I thought he was. It's just like I'll come back full circle to something I've said in the past. Ryan Garcia, the capper of all cappers. He's got a size 12 cap on his head. Okay? I've always said it. No matter how much capping Ryan Garcia has done, I believe if you could get his scary ass in the ring with Devin Haney, he would beat him. My opinion has not changed. With Errol Spence Jr., to get to the point, although I have felt like he has ducked Terence Crawford up until this point, now he says he wants to fight him, and I'll take him for his word. But up until this point, it seemed like he was ducking him, in my opinion. I have never changed opinions on being non-emotional, logical with my evaluation. And the fact is, I've always had it a 50-50 fight. If you could get Errol Spence in the ring with Bud, it was a 50-50 fight. However, all that has changed. It has all changed, in my opinion. What's going on? How you doing, my man? How you doing?
What's up, Tony? Man, it's been a long time.
Long time. I haven't really been doing lives that much.
Yeah, I know you did a one or two that I just kind of jumped on, but I didn't get all. I was just busy. But man, nice to talk with you, man. Nice to talk with you. I
You
know, but
too.
I know that your favorite division, anyways, is the heavyweight division. So I like the heavyweights. I just prefer like other weight classes, like the welterweights and middleweights and stuff. But now I'm always down to have a heavyweight discussion. But I know like I know you like you told me your primary love is a heavyweights, right?
You gotta look at it like this, okay? You gotta look at it like this. As out of shape as I am right now, I'm still a big ass dude, right? So I like watching fighters fight that if something went down, like in say real life, right? I was face to face, eye to eye with them. For me, it's competition. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Even though I would never fight any of these professional fighters, I'm just saying if some way, somehow I was at a bar, one of them popped off, I don't look at the little dudes as like much of a threat in real life. I just don't. They're too light in the ass. It'd be like fighting a high schooler or a middle schooler. It just would. That's the reality. I don't
No,
care.
yeah. I
But
mean, on face value, yeah.
right, right. The heavyweights though are my size, if not bigger than me. And it just I like watching because I used to fight, so I see it as like even though I'm not competing and I'm not fighting anymore, it's like competition in
It's
my
like yeah,
mind.
that spirit's like okay, this
Yeah,
guy can. I mean, not saying that the smaller weight class, like I'm sure they beat you. No offense, unless unless you box and have experience in other martial arts, which I don't know, but just judging based on what I know, I would favor the lower guys to beat you. But I mean, there's no doubt that a heavyweight would be able to beat you. I mean, again,
you
just
you
based
gotta look
off,
at it like this.
but I
You
could
gotta
be
look at
wrong
it like
because
this.
maybe
Let,
martial
let me
arts
give
and
you an
stuff.
example. Look,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
look. This is what people's minds can't comprehend, right? Because everybody sees fighter, 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 and that's what they think, right? Here's the reality. Adrian Broner was at a strip club, popping off, world champion, multiple division world champion, and he got his ass whooped by some fucking Las Vegas local rapper who never fought, probably. The fact of the matter is this: in real life, especially in a real fight, to where somebody can grab you and break you, it's different. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
different.
yeah, I understand. Like there's like in a street fight with a boxer, professional world championship level boxer, and a human being. There's no ref, there's no ring, there's no rules. So it's a little bit different. But it just depends again on how small and who we're talking about. But I mean that's not even matter. We're good into
No,
semantics and
it
stuff.
doesn't matter.
But
But
doesn't
that's
matter.
why I
Yeah.
like the bigger dudes, though. That's why I like the bigger dudes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But with that being said, um, yeah, man. I mean, boxing has been hot lately. I mean, this is probably the biggest fight of the year so far, and man, we're gonna get into more. And I mean, I just can't wait. And you know, getting on the performance. Well, the whole card. First of all, the whole card. Man, it's kind of boring. I ain't gonna lie. The whole card was kind of boring. I mean, like it was no like the only one that was decent was Razab and Butayev. But I mean, it was so dirty, damn near. It wasn't kind of wasn't even exciting. Like it was never like
But you gotta look at it like this. You gotta look at it like this too. Yeah, the card was weak, but look at this fight that's coming up with Tyson Fury and Dillian White. That card is atrocious. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
at the end of the day, the fights prior to the main event are just fillers because everybody's showing up to see the two big names fight. That's really what it's about. Now, I would like
Yeah.
to see a lot better fights, but you know where all the money's going, especially in big fights like that. So it is what it is. But let me ask you. Let's come instead of jumping around talking about other weight classes, other fights.
Okay.
Who do you have? Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. Who wins and why? Let me hear it.
Errol Spence, and the reason why I pick Errol Spence to win is two reasons why. Um, Terence Crawford's biological makeup. Meaning, what do you mean biological makeup? You heard, I know you've heard of the fight or flight response, correct?
Yes.
If you get attacked, either you're going to get scared and back up and try to get away or run away,
Mhm.
or you're just going to sit there and fight back. And Terence Crawford has a fight response, and we've all seen it. We know Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford's a competitor. He's a warrior, and he's going to bite down his mouthpiece and fight back. And so you cannot, when you have this high level fight, you have to fight your fight. You cannot fight like Floyd could not beat Manny Pacquiao if Floyd was sitting there brawling with him. That wasn't his style to beat him. No, it was to outbox him. We know, yeah, box him, stay on the outside, use a reach, etc. And that's how you beat Manny Pacquiao. And vice versa. Manny Pacquiao's best chance was to get in there and brawl with Floyd. But what did Floyd do? Floyd fought his fight and beat Manny Pacquiao convincingly. And at this level, you cannot fight somebody else's fight. And number two, even if let's say that Bud took the Victor Postal approach and try to like stay on the outside, at this point, Bud is 35 years old. Um, by the time they fight, if it's next, he'll be 35, and then he'll probably be maybe around a year or so out the ring already. And now how can you expect him to be able to? And now you put on 7 pounds from 140 to 147. And with Earl's ability to cut off the ring, I don't even think even if he could, I just don't think that he'd be able to keep Earl off of him just because he's facing a guy who has some of the best cut off ring skills in the sport. So that's why I just think it turns into a brawl. And then the last thing though I will say this is some things that Earl was doing, uh, Crawford could take advantage of. And he did some things in this fight that I've never seen him do. This was one of the most defensively irresponsible I've ever seen him in any other of his fights. Because, for example, he was so anxious, that he wanted to get the knockout that he was just standing in the pocket the whole time and just trying to take shots. An overhand rights he didn't have to take. All he had to do was take a step back and gather himself and go back to work. But he just wanted to get a knockout so bad. So I give him a pass. I don't say I give him a pass on it, but I understand because people are saying you have knocked somebody out in a while, and he was anxious to get back in the ring. It was as long you could tell by the way he was fighting. But I don't expect him to be so irresponsible, defensively irresponsible when he goes in there with somebody like a Bud Crawford. So that's the reason why I favor him. And I just think that it just comes down to a durability type of fight. When they fight in the trenches and it's blow for blow, I just think that Terence Crawford won't be able to handle it. Just when it goes up to blow for blow, because I do think it's going to become like a trench warfare. That's why I think that, like I've always said, this fight's going to end in stoppage, just because the mentality of the fighters, not because one is so much higher skilled than the other in any arena. It's just that when it your mentality, these guys are both half warriors, both warriors. I think this will end up in a trench war fight, and blow for blow. I just think that if it came down blow for blow, if I had to put my money on it, I think Earl's going to be able to handle the durability with his high level inside skills and just his durability overall and his size.
So we'll get to durability real fast. I just want to say this about Terrence's age. Here's the thing, especially in the lower weight classes, speed is everything. Speed is 1000% everything. The lighter you get, the more important speed becomes. The first thing you lose is speed. However, for everybody, they age differently. You know what I mean? One guy might be a grandpa at 30. The other guy might not hit his prime till 36, 37 nowadays with nutrition and everything. For me, I haven't seen a reduction in speed with Terence Crawford, so I don't think age is a factor. I know that Crawford is very regimented. He's always in shape. You never see him out of shape. You never see him balloon up, balloon or shrink down. You know what I mean? So he's pretty much with that Mayweather work ethic where he's always ready to fight. He's always in the gym. So I do agree with you. The absence from the ring is not a good thing whenever you're fighting a guy now in Errol Spence who's coming off of a fight and you haven't fought, like you said, in a year. That's bad. But as far as his age goes, I don't really think it's a factor unless he gets old overnight, which I don't think with somebody who stays in that much shape would. Like, for instance, it's very easy to not train when you're young, right? You could go months without training, a year without training, and get back into something and pick it right back up like you never walked away from it. But the older you get, the more of a break you have from something, the longer it takes you to get back into motion, if you can even get it back. So as you age, if you never get out of shape, you don't lose it that fast. It's just that if you take a break from doing something, you lose it much quicker than you would if you were younger. I don't think that's the case with Terence Crawford. I think he'll be just like he was at 30, just like he was at 26. I don't really see that reduction in speed at all due to his age. Now, durability, that's a good point. I'm trying to think. I don't ever truly remember seeing Errol Spence hurt. Unless he got dropped way earlier in his career, I don't think he's ever been put down.
No, the most really that's not even this fight. The most I've ever seen Earl hurt was he got hit by a mean right hook. I'm talking about a right hook for that came from the heavens. And it was very, very early on, but then he covered. It was kind of near the end of the round. He got rebuckled, but he did a smart thing and held on. So, but no, that's the most I've ever really seen him hurt.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and then you look at Terence Crawford, who's been dropped, who's been hurt. And the only thing I will say about Bud is that doesn't make sense when he gets hurt because he's been hurt more than once. He's now been dropped. But every time you see him get hurt, it's like he goes Goku. He goes Super Saiyan. Like he just gets stronger right after he gets hurt. But that's where you say the instincts come in because right after he gets hurt, he goes straight into fight. It's no more trying to box. It's I'm coming straight at you head on. And we already know Errol Spence is a pressure fighter. He's going to come at you head on. This is what I look at. I agree with you. I think if it comes down to pure durability, I would give the favor always to the bigger man, especially the bigger man who's never been put down, who's never been hurt, who's fought the top of his weight class forever. You know what I mean? Like one thing about it is, regardless if Errol Spence has fought Terence Crawford like me and a lot of other people have won it for years, he's still repeatedly fought the best at welterweight. It's not like, you know what I mean? He's fighting tomato can, cab driver, Uber driver.
Bums and all, yeah.
Yeah. No, he's remained fighting top guys throughout. Like there's no like sugarcoating these fights that he's had. So he's always been an elite fighter. And when an elite fighter is not getting hurt by other top tier fighters, and you have another guy who's elite that is being hurt by other top tier fighters, I would say yes. You would have to favor the naturally bigger guy who's never been hurt against his peers versus the other guy who's elite that has been hurt. So I would agree with you that Errol Spence more than likely has an edge in durability. How significant that edge is, I don't know. We won't know till they start trading blows, which they will, like you said. Now, here's the thing. I think Terence Crawford's biggest chink in his armor is pressure. Like, I think he does better against guys when they stop firing as much and they don't apply as much pressure. I've seen him struggle at times.
Yeah, can you give him time to think, huh?
Right, because you saw it. Even against Porter, he lost his balance backing up against the rings. Even though he knocked out Porter, I believe he knocked him out. I believe if his dad wouldn't have stepped in, it would have only got worse because there was too much time left and he already been put down twice. It was inevitable that he was going to get put to sleep if the fight was not called off. However, leading up to that, there was times that where you could see Sean Porter's pressure was causing him a lot of issues. He would get off balance, fall back. Some people, I disagree. I thought he washed Kell Brook, but people like to say in the first couple of rounds, Kell Brook's pressure was causing him issues. Then you got to go back to Mean Machine where it got dropped. It was that constant pressure. It wasn't until Bud took the fight back to Mean Machine and Mean Machine's work rate slowed that he really took over. So I think his biggest chink in his armor is that constant pressure. And the thing about it is, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tony, that's very true. And the thing about Kell Brook was winning the beginning of the fight, but then Crawford adjusted and he took a beat. He ended everything. So but he did the beginning. The thing about Crawford too, he's a slow starter. And against somebody like Errol Spence, you do not be a slow starter with because he's almost his style reminds me of like a locomotive train. As the fight goes on, he gets stronger and stronger. Same with Crawford. So, but if you give him those 3 or 4 rounds when you analyze somebody, by that time, it's already started. We just saw with Ugas after a 17-month layoff, this dude was started like in the second or third round. His engine was going boom, 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 boom. I'm like, damn, the pace he sets is something is great. So I'm like, wow. So that's why I'm like, when you look at it, it's like, if I'm Crawford, I gotta go out there swinging. I can't go out there analyzing because by the third round, if I don't have my data, he's already stepped it up 2 notches.
So I agree with you. And the thing about it is Crawford's not going to do that. He's not going to go in guns blazing. He's not going to be like Teofimo Lopez when he went out there against Kambosos. He's just not. That's just not the way he fights. He's very methodical at the beginning, and then he works his way into the fight, which, like you said, could be another chink in his armor. The other thing is where I really had the biggest edge for Bud was angles, mobility, lateral movement, and being able to work around the target. Because to me, in my opinion, before seeing this fight, Errol Spence has always been a straight up and down target. Now, you may say that in this one, he was more defensively irresponsible. However, Errol to me has never really been a hard target to hit. Like I said, you could look at when he fought Kell Brook. Kell Brook was hitting him left and right. So was Sean Porter. Those were guys who were more mobile movers coming in. Same way that Crawford did. However, what we saw in this fight against Ugas was an Errol Spence who was moving off the line, going side to side, going low, going high, and not doing onesie twosies, but 3, 4, 5, 6 combos together, and the whole time looking for openings.
Yeah, he was stepping around the guard, going on the side. When he was swinging, he was going almost looked like mitt work at one point. It looked like bag work. He was going up, and then he was going to the stepping to the side and closing off angles and stuff.
That's right. And the thing about that is when you have a fighter who fights like that, who can move and watch you, now the guys who are more agile, who move around in the pocket, they're not as successful because they've got a bag that's moving with them versus staying stationary. So now it becomes harder to work in the pocket because you've got somebody who's moving with you, keeping you constantly in front of them. Even though you're stepping off the line, they're stepping off the line with you, and you're still staying in front of them. The biggest advantage that I have for Bud Crawford in this fight might have just went out the fucking window. Everybody hits their stride. Everybody hits their peak, their pinnacle at different times in their career. And I think that we are now starting to see Errol Spence really come into who Errol Spence is. And it's crazy because, like you said, a 17-month layoff only to come out looking better than he's ever looked before. So,
but that's the thing though, Tony. I don't even think that wasn't the best Errol Spence to me. I give him all things considered, I give him like an A-. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that that was the best Errol. To me, the best Errol I've ever seen. Like when he was active was when with Lamont Peterson. Even though it wasn't the highest level competition, but it was just Lamont, just his nimbleness, his ability to stick the jab in your face and move and cut off angles was just he was doing that. But not saying he can't get back to that because he still is young enough, somewhat to be able to do it. He just needed a tune-up. You know what I'm saying? And this is what he needed. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, he just made Ugas look like a tune-up. That's what he did. He made him look like a tune-up. Like, legit, this didn't look like a fucking fight between champions. It looked like a tune-up fight.
And you know what's so crazy? Speaking about durability, is that Ugas, you know how the ref actually, Earl wasn't wrong. The ref, if you go back, ref said stop. He said it twice. He said stop, and then Ugas he hit him with 2 shots you don't see. He hit him with 2. You know, because you all know in boxing, it's the shots you don't see that hurt the most. Correct?
I thought he got hit 3 times.
I think it was
He
two.
was looking to the side. I thought he got caught, and then straight over the top at the end that kind of like sent him back towards the road.
I guess maybe even 2 or 3 times. I thought it was 2, but
in boxing, you're right. He was looking at the mouthpiece.
It was multiple shots, and it was the shots that you don't see. Correct, that hurt you the most. And you all know, like, you can face somebody who doesn't punch that hard, but if they hit you with a shot you don't see, it can fuck you up.
Yeah, prime example. Look at what happened to Victor Ortiz against Mayweather.
Yep. Mayweather's not this tremendous Robert. I mean, he's not feather fisted like Paulie, but I mean, he's average at best, puncher wise.
Right.
But look what he did against Virgil Ortiz. 2 shots, pop, and put him down and knocked him out.
Yep.
So it's a shot. So that, if to me, even though he protect yourself at all times, so I will get on you because of that. You should have had your hands up and not looking down at the mouthpiece until you were sure that the ref said stop. But with that being said, that's a testament to your durability, that you took 2 or 3 shots to the chin and you bounced back. And yes, it buckled you. It definitely did buckle you, but you bounced back, and he recouped fast. I'm like, damn, okay, he recouped fast. It wasn't like, oh, he was on bandy legs for the rest of the round. He was like, okay, he recouped fast, he bounced back, and then he recouped pretty fast. So I'm like, okay, he got pretty good recuperation skills. And you need that against somebody like Bud, because one thing I say, Bud is a quick finisher, and he does not give you time to recover. He's probably the best finisher in the game. I mean, he'll give you no time. So you better make sure you got quick recouping skills.
Yeah. Bud is like Deontay Wilder. When he smells blood, it's over. Like, he's on you. He's not going to give you that time to think, not going to give you that time to recover. He's just not going to give it to you. He's going to swarm you like a pack of piranhas. Like that. That's it. He's taking you out. And you're right. Now that Wilder, we don't know where he's at within the heavyweight division, if he's retired, which he very well may be. And, happy retirement to him if he is. You would have to say Bud is now the best finisher in boxing. I think we said Virgil Ortiz. I meant Victor Ortiz is who Mayweather knocked out. But here's the good thing about that. Bringing up that situation in the fight, Errol Spence acknowledged it in the post-fight conference, and he said that it was an issue, and he said that his mouthpiece didn't fit his mouth, but he was like, I made a mistake. Protect yourself at all times. And he had a lapse in judgment. So at least he saw it and acknowledged it and accept that he made the mistake. Unlike some fighters who are like, no, I didn't do nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
No.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so that's a good thing right there. That's a real good thing that he's learning from his mistakes. What's going on, AJ?
Yo. What's good, Tony, man?
Who you got? Errol Spence, Terence Crawford? Tell us why.
I kind of agree with your assessment. It's a 50-50 fight, but I got to go with Bud, man, over Spence. I just think
Tony.
That,
I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I got to go with Bud over Spence. I mean, it's just that just looking at them both. I mean, like, I'm giving Spence credit, for beating Ugas. It was funny. Like, after, like, I think. Because I just, even though he beat him, like, I'm in decisive fashion, he kind of looked like the Spence of old. It kind of like it was a flashback to when he beat Kell Brook. That's kind of like how it had looked to me. Even though that he did so in decisive fashion, like there was some takeaways. Like I think Leonard was saying, like how he got staggered, knocked across the ropes. I mean, because before, like I think in the 6th round, like before he Ugas sent him into the ropes, like he got hit with Ugas hit him with a right that kind of like wobbled him, and he did like a little funny dance. Then like he ducked and shoved up. Then he got sent back into the ropes when the mouthpiece mishap happened, or whatever you want to call it. Then I think like in round 7, like the next round, Ugas kind of staggered him with a right. I would with a right cross, I believe, for like 2 seconds. And the thing is, like Ugas like didn't follow up, like each time. I mean, he just kind of shelved up and stood there, and and just let Spence, like, I don't want to say I don't know if he just wilted under Spence's pressure, but he just seems like just let Spence like really tee off on him. They're like, I mean, but just overall my accessibility just is like, I just think Bud has way too much more tools in the kit to deal with Spence. Like Bud is not going to stand there and trade. I mean, what's up?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you was. I thought you were. So go ahead. This you should get it off.
No. I'm saying like Bud's not going to stand there and trade. He's going to move. He's got better footwork. Better better ankles, better lateral movement. His punch placement, combination stuff like that. It's he's just got way more to deal with. Especially like honestly, like he's like his age. I don't think is like I'll tell you, I agree with you. I don't think his age is going to be a factor. He usually stays in good shape. He's always sparring, training, and he's going to take this fight. I mean, both guys are going to take this fight seriously. I mean, I don't think they're going to look past one another. They better not. Otherwise, we could, they could possibly lose. So, and even though he's coming off another layoff, if the fight happens this summer, I don't think it's going to matter because he was coming off a layoff when he fought Sean Porter, and look what happened there. So, and even though Sean even though Sean was problematic, I mean, he's been problematic for everybody he's fought. Let's be real. What I mean? He's a handful. You know what I mean? He's just to come forward like just baller. So I mean, I mentioned Bud in this one. I got Bud.
So
by stoppage.
Tony, so what? So you're saying that you're rethinking things. So what are you saying? Because what are you saying that? What are you saying? Are you saying like I don't know anymore, or do I have Spence now? I do remember you always used to add Crawford. So, oh no, Crawford's too. All these stuff.
Yeah.
What it was? What?
I've always had it a 50-50 fight, but I've always edged Crawford. I've always edged, even though I had it a 50-50, I always favored Crawford. I'm gonna say this. I know everything that Crawford does well. And you got to understand, like, even though a lot of people like to say, oh, you pick the underdogs, it's not about me picking underdogs. It's about when I watch these fighters fight, regardless about how I feel about them or don't feel about them, whether I like them, dislike them, I take all emotions out of it. And I just watch their fights over and over again. I look at what they do well, and I look at what works well against them. Then I look at the opponent, see what they do well, what works well against them. Then I mash them together to see how it would go. And with what I saw from Errol Spence, his movement, which he's never really had, in my opinion, before, I'm favoring Errol Spence in this fight coming up. Like, it's still a close fight, but I would say that if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 55-45 in Spence's favor, in my opinion. I mean, like you said, AJ, we're looking at 2 very long layoffs. And that all adds up. Like, it adds up. It really does. Especially whenever you're in there against a guy who's going to be active. You got to call Spence active because he is. He's in there. And even whenever he didn't have the fight against Pacquiao, it wasn't like he was inactive. He did a full training camp.
Yeah.
So that's no different than going into the fight. He just lacked the fight because of an injury that they found, but he was all the way up to damn near fight day.
Yeah, he took it was like 6.5 weeks, so he got a semi-training camp in there.
That's what I'm saying. So he was already there, getting prepped and going. So you can't really look at Spence as having a long layoff because it really wasn't. It was just a layoff from when he was in the ring. But I don't know, like the inactivity, the movement of Spence, knowing Spence is the bigger guy. He's probably going to be a lot bigger than Bud when they step in the ring.
A lot. And what was crazy is Ugas was bigger than Spence, and Spence was treating him like a punching bag in that ring. I was surprised. I said, "Damn, Ugas is bigger than Spence in that ring." He said his back is very wide. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Damn, he's a little bit bigger than Spence." But I mean, it wasn't. And you saw Ugas was kind of pushing him off, kind of, but he just kept coming. It was like, man, pause. But so he kept going. So yeah, but and then one thing, people, you say he's not an easy target to, or he's not a Tony. Or I think AJ, I think y'all said before, or that he wasn't an easy target to hit. Oh no, he is an easy target to hit. Spence, I don't think so. I think that in this fight he kind of was. I'll give you that. But in general, from what I've seen him, I've always stand by this. He parries a lot of punches and he blocks a lot of punches and he steps out of your range. He doesn't have the fanciest head movement. He doesn't have the prettiest head movement. He's not Pernell in there, getting his head off the line. But as far as look him getting hit, other than this fight, you can look back at his punch stats. He doesn't really get hit that much. He actually steps back, and that's why I say his defense is underrated. He steps back and he parries a lot of punches, and you can look at it. If you think I'm lying, look at the punch stats. You know what I'm saying? He does his defense in a different way. It's not the pretty head movement. It's not the Mayweather. It's not you move your head out the center line, do the shoulder roll, use your feet. It's not that. It's just him just parrying punches and stepping out of people's ranges and keeping them at bay. Which I mean, hey, if that works, that works. That's just his style. As long as you don't get hit. So yeah, and then go ahead. That's all I have to say.
Got it for sure. I mean, yeah, I agree that Errol is kind of hard to hit clean when he when he crouches and kind of shows up himself. He is hard. He's hard to hit clean, but yeah, I just see more. I mean, I know we differ. I mean, but I just see, I still got Bud, man. I do.
I know. And listen, and I understand. I mean, if that's what you do. But I mean, we are gonna have to. Let's be fair, people. Let's be fair. After a 17th month layoff, to be able to do that, to do a better. I mean, I know triangle threes don't work, so we all agree it doesn't always work, right? But I mean, it is a statement to be off a 17-month layoff and to be able to stop a champion who gave Porter. A lot of people said that he won against Porter, but got robbed because he wasn't the bigger name, right? So if that was a 50-50 fight between him and Porter, and he stopped him after a 17-month layoff, you have to expect him to be even better his next fight, just from what you know about boxing. Like, you know that you need a tune-up fight to get back in the swing of things. So I mean, I'm just saying that to me, that was to be able to for Earl to be able to put up a better performance against Ugas than Bud did against Porter after a 17-month layoff. To me, that's an eye injury. To me, makes a statement. So
Well,
how do you think he's gonna come into the fight if they fight next, right, by the end of this year? And if Buzz again, because he only really fights once a year, which is surprising to me. If they go into the ring again for another year, it's like, okay, well, I know Bud stays sharp, so I'm not saying
that interject real fast. I look at it like this, and this is where like Errol Spence fans lose me when it comes to Bud, because shit's not equal. Okay, so here's the fact. Okay, regardless of the injury that Ugas sustained, he wasn't close to being knocked out. He wasn't even put on his ass. The referee kept making the doctor check his eye, right? The thing about it is this. The eye injury was bad. I believe he had a broken orbital bone, if the articles that I've read are true.
Yes.
However, normally a fight is only stopped when you can't see out the eye, right? Damage to the eye is irrelevant. It's really irrelevant. Just like cuts. Cuts are supposed to be irrelevant. The only time a fight is ever supposed to be stopped on a cut is if it's impeding your vision and you can't see, because they don't want you getting hit by punches you can't see because you can't defend yourself properly. Ugas, every time the doctor checked him, could see out his eye. Even though it was closed up a lot, he still was seeing through what would be like squinting. You know what I mean? So here's the deal. They both stopped the guys in the 10th round. One was by a doctor stoppage. One was by
towel throwing in.
That's what I mean.
They threw in the towel. Yeah.
Right. So you can't really say one win is better than the other, because they both stopped guys in the 10th round. And
that's what I was going to say.
And they both stopped them by having other people intervene. The only difference here was Crawford actually put Porter down twice, whereas Spence never dropped Ugas in that 10th round. So I don't really rate one better than the other. And then you got to understand, although Ugas has fought Terence Crawford before, it was at a much lower weight class and it was in the amateurs, which they've changed so much since the amateurs. You can't take nothing from it. If they had just turned pro, right? If Bud Crawford had just fought Ugas 2 years ago in the amateurs, then you could take something from it. But being that was so many years ago, such a lighter weight class, it's irrelevant to what happened now. Here's the thing. Spence did good against Ugas, and Bud did good against Porter because he stopped him and Spence couldn't. I would say that both the wins are pretty much equivalent to each other. Same round, both competitors, both stopped their competitors. So I don't really take much from that. I don't think one win outweighs the other win, in my opinion. It's just, again, I don't know how well Bud's movement's going to do against Spence, who's now doing movement as well. And I just
I
I
mean,
don't know. Like I would
I,
really have to deep
yeah.
dive because like I
uh,
just I'm really looking in my mind and I'm thinking about it. And the more that I think about this fight, is the less that I favor Bud. Like it is as much as I like Terence Crawford. At the end of the day, like what you saw with Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez, eventually physics takes over, and you're the smaller man.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's
impressive.
with Tony, like one thing that sticks. I mean, like Bud is underrated. Like he's very because he used to wrestle. I've been told he used to wrestle, right? I think he used to be a wrestler.
He did.
And
He did.
honestly, he's very physically strong, even though he's not
He
big. He's
is
strong
strong.
because I see him like deadlifting like 400 plus pounds, like in the gym, all this kind of stuff. You
He's
know,
way
I mean,
stronger. He's way
and
stronger than Spence. I agree.
so I take that into account, and also like then what was I going to say? Oh yeah, like just before the 10th round, in the Porter fight, like the corner talk when he was told he was down on the cards, he was like saying like how, like then he just went okay. Then he went out there and pretty much closed the show. He upped up the tempo, drop Sean, and then put him down again, and then the fight was stopped.
okay.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
let me.
and that just led me. One second, that just led me to believe like I mean I don't know if this is like fact, but I mean that just led me to believe like was he taking it easy on Sean the whole time, or was he not really fighting seriously? Because he even said post fight. I
Exactly.
mean, because he even said post fight, I don't want to fight him. He's my friend. I don't want to fight him. He's my friend.
No,
You know what I
no,
mean? So yeah,
exact, and that's why I said Tony and AJ, you brought up a good point. That's why I said, and somebody else said the same thing. I'm not impressed by. I hate to say, I'm not impressed by Bud Parker's performances because in every fight, in this Porter fight, what did they say? They said, "You're down on the cards. You're down on the cards. You're down on the cards. So you got to make something happen." They said that in the corner because they were scared because they truly did not know how the fight was going.
no.
So what? So
Wait a minute, Leonard. Like just 1 second. Like, sorry to cut up. I mean, but the thing is, he wasn't down on the cards. I saw the cards afterwards. He was up.
no, I'm just
He
saying.
said, yeah, yeah.
Yes, officially he wasn't, but they truly did not know who. They truly did not. They truly did not know who was up in the corner, so they were panicking. So okay, it's getting this is 10th round, 9th, 10th round. We're getting up there now in rounds. We're losing rounds. We kind of don't know how it's going. You need to make a statement. You need to go pull out. And that's what I'm saying is that if you're supposed to be this pound for pound fighter, and you give up the first half of the fight, and you're making it competitive, I just can't. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not. I was. I.
But
That's
No,
why. That's why.
he was
Huh?
up. He was up on the cards. He was up.
No,
But
no,
you
but you're
gotta
not listening, AJ. I'm not saying he wasn't up on the cards. I'm just saying in the corner they were panicking
but listen to
because
this.
it was a
Yeah,
close fight, and
But
I
hold
actually
on, hold
had
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. But you got if you gonna play it that way, then you gotta play it that way the same way with Spence. A lot of people think Porter beat Spence. I disagree. I thought the fight would have been a draw if you took away the knockdown. But with the knockdown, I had Spence winning. I had both guys winning 6 rounds evenly. But with the knockdown, that's it. Spence won. That was the separating factor. So while you say that about Bud, you can make the same argument about Spence that he was down on the cards on a lot of people's scorecards as well. The only difference was Bud stopped him, Spence didn't.
yeah, Tony.
so. But
Wait.
You gotta play it both ways.
no, I'm and the
Yeah.
reason why I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say is that even in the Porter fight, okay, let's say you had it 6-6, it still was a thing where okay, you get this round, I got that round. It was a back and power struggle. With Bud, is like he'll give up a significant number of rounds and be down or get outboxed or get out broad, and now it's like, well, hell, man, what's going on? That's what I'm saying. Even with the 6-6 with Spence, you can say, okay, it's going either way. He's taking rounds, okay. But there's a panic with Bud because he'll give up so many rounds. There's like in the corner, I truly do not know who's up. And if you don't make something happen, who knows what's going to happen on the cards. And that's why I say that as a pound for pound fighter, Bud is a pound for pound fighter. Obviously, his skill set is amazing. But I'm saying you cannot do that. You cannot give up so many rounds. You got to be able to go against somebody like Spence. You got to be able to go in there and start quickly. You got to be able to establish yourself. You got to be in there getting his respect. You got to do that from the get go, and that's the reason. Part of the reason because Bud has always been a slow starter, and I'm saying at the age of 35, and I know you stay sharp. At the age of 35, a year's layoff, around a year plus layoff, at the age of 35, I do not expect him to go in there and do anything different. I do not. Not saying he's not going to be sharp. but I do not expect him to change anything at this age plus a years left. I do not know. I do not expect that. So that's why I've always said this. I've always favored Errol Spence. I knew what it would go down to. I knew people say, oh, because his skill set and everything like that. This fight is not going to come down to skill sets. I'm telling you, by the way Terence Crawford fights, it is going to come down to a war. And it's going to end in a knockout because they both have heart. They both will fight on the inside. And blow for blow, it's going to come down to a blow for blow match. And blow for blow, Earl's going to get him. I'm just saying.
It was always going to come down to a knockout, even prior to all of this. The thing is, when it comes to knockouts, right? Neither guy is a devastating one-punch knockout artist, okay? Neither guy. Spence is not some devastating one-punch knockout artist. Neither is Terence Crawford. Both of them get you out of there by beating you up, okay? That's just what they do. Now, when you have two fighters like that, it normally comes down to who hits the other guy the most. And prior to seeing Spence chain his punches together like he did against Ugas, I heavily favored Crawford because Crawford, like when I did my breakdown, I'm telling everybody in the world who disagreed with me that Crawford was going to stop Porter. I said it. I knew it as much.
You did.
You did too, because I knew the difference in fighting style. I knew that the difference here was when Spence throws punches, it's jab, it's straight, it's back off, it's jab, jab, it's back off, it's jab, straight, maybe a hook, back off. When Crawford hits you, it's jab, straight, hook, 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 uppercut, jab, straight. It's relentless. It's a different type of attack. That's why I knew he would stop him, because of the relentlessness, and I knew how much onesie-twosie Spence was. But again, so when you're looking at guys who are hard punchers but not devastating punchers, the guy who lands the most normally comes out ahead, which in my opinion has always been Bud saying that. Now, when I look at the Ugas fight, now it's a little different, because now I watch Spence chain combos together, which is something I never really saw him do. Non-stop, relentless attack. That's what he did. Now, yes, he got hit a little bit more, but when you attack more, you get hit more. It's checks and balances to it. But the fact is, I do not know in this fight now who's going to land the most punches. Prior to Ugas, prior to this Spence, I knew without a doubt Terence was going to touch him up more than Spence was going to touch him. And it just came down to, was Crawford durable enough to take the punches when he got touched? Now, I think both guys are going to land pretty similar amount of punch stats on each other. And with that being the case, I just...
blow for blow. I durable. That's what I'm saying.
Tony, let me ask you this. Like, I mean, like, I brought up that fact with Terence with Bud in the Porter fight, like in the 10th round, when he like just upped up the set. I wasn't saying that as a criticism. I was just saying that as a testament to just his overall, just, you know, elite like skill. I mean, I was just, because like even though he wasn't down on the cards, he was up on all three. His corner told him, like, he was told that he was down, and he's like, what, how? I mean, do you think, my question to you was like, do you think they could have told him that just so he can go out there and like kind of close the show, or just so he can like finish strong?
Well, it's a possibility. I thought Bud was pretty much dominating the fight. I didn't have it as close as some people.
So did I. Me too. So yeah.
But you got to understand too that when you're watching something from TV, you got an aerial view. You can see it from all different angles.
Oh yeah,
and when you're ringside looking
up,
well, you know, you've been to fights. When you're ringside looking up, especially in the close, like everybody thinks the closer you get to the ring, the better the seats are, and that's bullshit. Actually, the best like midway up in the arena, to where you have like mid-level seats, that's the best visually, so you can see the best. You have the best vantage point where you're not too far away and the nosebleed, but you're not so close that you're looking up through the ropes trying to see what's going on. So it's a possibility that his corner could have thought he was down. That is a possibility, because it looks different when you're ringside than it does on TV. So I can't say that they said it to inspire him, or they truly could have believed he was down. I don't know. I really do not know.
Yeah, but I think they're like, I mean, just he's saying just, well, I mean, just the layoff in general. Like, already just fought Porter. I think he just posted footage of him in the gym. He was sparring with Keyshawn Davis. Yeah, I mean, he always does this. Guys with like that, with like Shakur, he always stays like in shape and fighting fit, even though he's not going through training camps.
Right back.
For sure. So I mean, so I just think that like regardless of the layoff or his age, he is turning 35 late this year. He's still 34, but yeah, he will be 35 this year. I just think that I don't. I mean, I just don't think it's going to be some toe-to-toe war early on, and I think.
Okay, man.
You're saying Bud will need to start early. Like yeah, he's a slow starter, but I just think that as the fight goes on, both guys may take more chances, and I don't think Earl is just going to pounce on Bud either because he's going to know. I mean, both guys aren't going to estimate each other.
They're not.
We may get a toe-to-toe war, but that may not happen early on. I mean,
Let me ask you a question, AJ. If it came down to a pocket fight, blow for blow, you and me, you take a punch, I take a punch. We're both punching each other. Who would you favor? No, let's not even talk about that. Nobody take away no. Just saying, if it came out to a blow for blow matchup, what you know about who would you favor?
Maybe you talk about like Bud and Spence.
Bud and Spence. If they had a blow for blow match, it got to a point where they both. It's such a high level fight, and it's such a fight now. It's just a blow for blow match. Who would you favor?
Oh, most likely Spence. I mean, because he obviously fights in the pockets, but Crawford usually doesn't. Because but it's not going to matter because Bud is not going to do that. You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is like when you say so if he's not going to do that, what is he going to do?
He's going to move.
Okay, let me tell you this. Two things. Bud always fights. Can we agree that you said he gives up rounds, number one, and number two, can we agree that he's a true fighter's fighter? Like he's gonna fight back, correct? If you hit him with a shot, he gets.
Well, that's the thing. That's one thing about Bud. Like that's he said that he said if you get me, you say you hit me good, I'm gonna get you back. That's what's up. Yeah. I feel you.
yeah.
Because I think with Mean Machine, because everybody wants to mention he got dropped. Okay, that was a flash knockdown, and look what he did to Mean Machine when he got up. He even said when he put me down, I'm knocking this dude out, and that's exactly what he did. He dropped.
He did. It was exact. Okay, so we agree on that. Okay. And then this is what it's just kind of so not saying I'm taking offense to this, but it's like so disrespectful. It's like, oh, Bud's gonna move on Earl. Yo, Earl is probably top 3, debatably number 1 of cutting off the ring in the sport. I mean, do people just think he's some flat-footed slugger that's just gonna go in there and not be able to catch Bud? Huh?
I disagree.
Okay. If you want to disagree, we can have this debate. Give me some names that can cut off the ring as well as Earl.
Let me ask you something. Hold on.
You go ahead, sir.
How many fighters have truly ran from Errol Spence Jr. stylistically that he's fought? How many have ran from him to where he had to cut off the ring 100% of the fight? How many?
Now, truly ran or use skills like the whole fight?
No.
I'm asking. Hold on. I'm trying to get clarification here.
I'm about to clarify.
Okay.
How many fighters has he fought that tried to stay out of the pocket 100% of the fight?
Okay, no one. Not 100%.
One. He fought one that tried to do it. Mikey Garcia. And you know what ended up happening? He couldn't hit him because he couldn't cut off the ring.
I disagree. I don't know what you were watching, but that's
he
not
true.
He couldn't do but Mikey Garcia was coming forward. What are you talking? It was Earl who was on the back foot. Mikey Garcia was going forward. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Mikey Garcia was not dancing around the ring. What are you talking about? Errol Spence was boxing from the outside, and then he came in later after he knew he had him and just started beating the hell out of him. What are you talking about? What fight did you watch?
Mikey Garcia ran from him the whole fucking fight. That's why he couldn't get the knockout.
No, Mikey Garcia was surviving the whole fight, and Errol Spence was hitting him a blow after blow.
Mikey Garcia looked like to go versus Ryan Garcia. What are you talking about?
No, he didn't. What are you talking about?
Leonard, you know Spence post fight said he tried to knock out Mikey, right? He tried to stop him. I mean, he did say that, and I think that was just testament to Mikey's movement. I just thought honestly it was like Spence's because he had been struggling with weight prior, like for the longest time. As he said, for this fight with Ugas, this first time he hired a nutritionist so he can make weight safely. And that was kind of telling to me because I suspected he'd been struggling with his weight, to keep the welterweight for years. I thought he should have moved up because I thought his power was winning because he hadn't gotten knockouts or stoppages in a while.
So Yeah, that's true. Having a nutritionist does make a difference. You tell like the cardio's up there, and he's able to like just the duty, the cardio's up there.
But I mean, no disrespect. I just see like I mean, I mean, see that's. I mean, you do make a good point. It's like if Earl gets Bud with a good one, he's gonna want to get him back. But I just
He's
don't
gonna
see.
get him back,
I just don't see. I just don't see him standing there.
I
mean,
cannot.
wait, one second. Let me. I just don't see him standing there trading and then shelling up.
I'm telling you, if he moves, there's nothing he's gonna be able to do because Earl's gonna cut off the ring. Earl's not some flat for the dude, bro. Every person that he's faced that does move at times, Lamont Peterson cut off the ring. Chris Harjuri cut off the ring. Sean Porter. Hold on. I let you speak, AJ. I let you speak. Hold on. I let you speak. Lamont Peterson cut off the ring. Chris Harjuri cut off the ring. Sean Porter, who's moving at times, cut off that ring. So Earl is one of the best at cutting off the ring in the sport. There's some other good ones. There's some
name comes towards you in the pocket, like all of
no,
them.
but I'm saying, but there was some. What you said
all the way.
Tony, when you said Tony, when
our pocket fighters,
they shelved up.
No, I'm saying
right
no.
there.
I'm saying Tony. You said 100% of the time. I said that there hasn't really been a fight where everybody was 100%. Okay, I'll give you that. But I'm saying the times these guys, the three fighters.
No. Just rewatch the Mikey Garcia fight. In fact, just go to the 6th round to the 12th round and rewatch it. That's all.
Bro, I've seen the fight. You got to rewatch the fight. You got to rewatch the fight
and watch exactly how hard it was for Spence to find the target once Mikey went into flight mode.
What I want you to do is go back. What I want you to do is go back to the fight, and what I want you to do. I want you to see Earl boxing from the outside, and then as the rounds went on, and he knew that he had him, comes in on the inside, and he did this by like I want to say about the really started putting it on him by like the 4th or 5th round.
I hear you.
Mikey Garcia was not over there running around. Mikey Garcia was not over there running around. He wasn't doing any of that mess. I don't know what fight you were watching, but that's not what he was doing.
You said Mikey went into survival mode. How do you survive in boxing?
Putting your hands up. That's same, like you just said it right now with Ugas. He wasn't dropped. What did Ugas do? He put his hands up and he was survive. Like he didn't get dropped. That's the same thing Mikey Garcia did.
When you hear somebody went into survival mode, what do? What's the number one thing people do when they go into survival mode?
Move, but was Mikey doing that? No, he was.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he was not. No, he was not.
I had this debate.
Now, was he moving? Was he moving? Was Mikey Garcia moving? Was Mikey Garcia?
I was saying that Bud would beat Spence. I favored Bud. I had it a 50-50 fight, but I believe Bud would beat Spence. Even way back then, when all the Spence complete haters came to my channel because they thought I was a Spence hater. I told them all, I don't hold it against them that he didn't knock out the much smaller Mikey Garcia because it's hard to knock out somebody who refuses to engage. It's very hard.
Thank you, but that's okay. I agree with that. Who refuses to? Okay, but that's not Mikey Garcia moving around the ring though. That's what I'm saying. Sure you can. Oh yes, you said he was surviving and he was. Tony. You were saying that he was surviving and he wasn't engaging. Yes, it's hard to do that. I understand. It's very hard. But what you're making it seem like is he was just dancing around the ring. Oh, let me dance around the ring like Pernell Whitaker and survive. He wasn't doing that. All he was doing after Earl pushed it to him, he was backing up and Earl kept hitting him with shot after shot.
Bernard, let me tell you who's good at cutting off the ring. Manny Pacquiao. If Mikey Garcia would have tried that shit against Manny Pacquiao, Manny would have been on him like a pit bull on a steak. It would have been over.
No, I'm saying I think our definitions are different. That's what I think it is.
Good. He's not cutting.
I gotta disagree. Yes, he is. I can't give you that one, Tony. I can't. That's why I can't give you that. Usually, I just think that we just got to disagree on that. I think our definitions are different. I think for what we saw was two different things. I didn't see
cutting off the ring. Cutting off the ring is when you're good at beating somebody who's trying to stay away from you. It's how well you can box them in. For example,
yes, and he was beating him.
Let me finish. For example, one of the main contributing factors of why I believe Dillian White is about to beat the shit out of Tyson Fury is because he's very good at cutting off the ring. People can try to make the argument, oh, he doesn't have good footwork. He doesn't have good footwork. He doesn't. Bullshit. Look, good footwork doesn't constitute of doing the ollie shuffle and being able to move. Whenever you're an aggressive fighter, good footwork is being able to keep a motherfucker in front of you in the pocket to where they cannot escape. Dillian White keeps people to his fucking chest like glue. That's good footwork, in my opinion, when you're a come-forward fighter. You don't have to do all this dancing shit. That's not the only way to have good footwork. The problem with Spence is I cannot agree, and I'm telling you, I'm favoring Spence against Crawford right now. I am favoring him, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this dude can stay latched to people like glue because he can't.
I got to disagree, Tony. And hold on, Tony, you just made the point right now. You said coming forward and beating on somebody. Errol Spence was beating on Mikey the whole fight. He didn't have the power to knock him out. I'll give you that. Mikey Garcia survived. I'll give you that. But he kept landing shot after shot on Mikey Garcia. He just didn't have the power to really get him up out of there at that point. Like AJ said, not proper nutrition and all that. So what do you talk? You just proved my point right there. That's what I'm saying. That's one thing I can give Errol Spence. If nothing else, well, he has good foot placement. He's able to cut off the ring well. Now, does he move all out of you? Is he on his toes all the time? No. That's what I give. That's I can agree with. But as far as cutting off the ring, Mikey Garcia was a poor example to use because all Mikey Garcia was going back up in a straight line, and Earl kept landing blow after blow after blow after blow on him. Look at his face. His face looked like a meat. Look at his face. His face looked like a meat grinder after the fight.
No matter what it looked like, he came up 2 weight classes. That's why his face looked like.
Also, now you're changing the narrative, Tony. You're changing it now.
Whoa, hold on.
You're changing it. So just because he came up 2 weight classes, that's supposed to mean something.
When you look, hold on. Just because you look fucked up doesn't mean that you lost the fight. You can look like you lost the fight and still win a fight. Aesthetic damage means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. The fact of the matter is, when Mikey Garcia went into flight mode, which he did, Spence could not catch him like that. He couldn't.
Yes, he did catch him. He caught him with the hooks and uppercuts. What are you talking about? Yes, he did. Yes, he did catch him. Yes, he did.
Hold on. Wait, Tony, could I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Could you say that one more time, please? I just, it's funny when you say it. What Dillian White's about to do to Tyson Fury?
Oh, he's about to fuck him up. Look, I'm telling you right now. There is a strong possibility that Tyson Fury gets knocked the fuck out with his ass up in the air. I'm telling you, it is a strong possibility that Dillian White's about to spark him. Spark him like not like towel coming in, not like referee weighing it off. Like there's a strong possibility that Tyson Fury's about to look like Dillian White looked whenever he got hit by the uppercut by Povetkin. Like straight up send him into a dream world. I'm telling you. Watch.
I know you're confident. I remember months ago you were talking about how you feel like Dillian White was going to beat Tyson Fury. You were very, very confident about that one. I give you that one. You always said the same thing. You kept it a buck on that one.
But also like you know what a good example of somebody cutting off the ring is. Well, I believe Artem Beterbiev.
I'm about to say him too. He's another good example of somebody cutting off the ring.
He does it more. I'm honest. He does it more effectively than Spence does it.
Way more.
I got it. That's debatable. But let me say like this. Okay, hold on, Tony. I'm gonna prove my point right now. I'm gonna prove it because if you want to argue about this all day, we can argue about it. Because I hate when people underrate Errol Spence's footwork. That's one of his best attributes.
You overrate him.
No. Everybody, a lot of people underrate his footwork, and that cost him the fight every single time. Let me tell you something. If Errol Spence had power, right, more power at 147 with the amount of shots that he was throwing at Mike Garcia, would he have gotten stopped? If he had crazy Deontay Wilder power, if he had crazy at 147 with the amount of shots that he hit Mikey with, would have Mikey got stopped? If he had Terence Crawford power with the amount of shots he hit him with, would he have got stopped?
So here's my point. I'm glad.
No. I'm asking you.
No. Listen to me. You don't even have to do that. The fact that you brought up Terence Crawford, what I'm telling you is, if Mikey Garcia got in the ring with Terence Crawford, he'd be stopped.
I'm
Yes, he
saying
would.
power
I give
Yes, he
you
wise.
would.
enough to get away.
But
He
I brought
wouldn't be able to roll with the
I
punches.
brought him
He
up
wouldn't be able to get on
power.
the back foot. There's no escape. Terence Crawford would knock Mikey Garcia out within the first 5 rounds.
That you didn't answer my question. You guys
So
are
I am
you
answering
avoiding my
your
question. You guys
I'm
are
telling you,
avoiding my question.
Errol Spence cannot cut off the ring as good as Terence Crawford, and they're in the same
Uh,
division.
that's not what I asked you guys a specific question.
You asked
If
me
Errol Spence, if Errol Spence Jr.,
if
if
he
Errol,
was gifted with the power of the red sun like Superman, and he could hit harder than anybody who ever hit before, would he knock out Mikey Garcia in that fight? The possibilities are high that he maybe hypothetically could
And he
have.
lands a lucky
But
shot.
here's something I can tell you too. Here's something I can tell you too. When somebody's moving away from you and you're throwing shots, it's a lot easier for them to roll with those shots and make those shots grazing the way they're not doing as much damage. So even if you gave him the power of Zeus or Hercules, if you gave him that type of power, Mikey Man still survived.
If he can't land,
that's the point. That's my point, though, is that cutting off the ring has nothing to do with whether the shots are grazing off, has nothing to do whether the shots are hurting you. Those are two separate things. Is are you able to cut off the ring with your feet? And that's what it was. So you guys just proved my point. That's what I'm saying. He was able to cut off the ring. No, maybe did he have the power to knock him out? No. You just proved the point right now.
Okay. Look, let me give you an example. I just brought up Artur Beterbiev, right? Yeah, Tony, you remember when we watched that fight live on your channel?
Marcus Brown.
Yeah, we gave Marcus Brown the first 2 rounds, right?
Yeah.
After round 3, what happened?
He learned. He adapted to him. Cut off the ring,
Thank you.
Beat the shit out.
And Brown couldn't get away from his ass, could he?
Could not get away and got his ass stopped.
How much power does Artur Beterbiev have?
A lot.
Thank you.
But let me ask you this: what good is power if you can't hit the target?
Thank you. Also, thank you.
He hit the target. That's what I'm saying.
No. He hit the target because he cut off the ring.
The ring.
No, and Earl was doing the same thing. That's what I'm trying to say. He was.
What I'm trying to tell you is, look, Leonard. Here's the point. What good was Deontay Wilder's power against Tyson Fury? What good was it?
You were able to get knockdowns and everything.
No, it was no good because he lost.
I mean, yes, he lost. Yes.
Yes, it takes more than just power. Just like whenever Beterbiev was cutting off the ring to Brown and adapting to Brown's, I'm staying away, trying to fight you from as far away as I can possible. He adapted to it so he could use that power to get him out of there. The thing is, power is great to have, but you have to have more than power. And what I'm trying to tell you is, Beterbiev is better at cutting off the ring than Errol Spence. Terence Crawford in the same division is better at chasing down the target than Errol Spence is. Oh, we lost him. I'm about to get off here pretty soon, but let's hit up these comment sections real fast because I just seen Dillian White is getting topped by Fury. LOL. Fury ain't his wife. Dean White, that's his brother. Tony, you better not bet on White. You know what? I have never made a bet on a fight in my life. I have never made a bet. I could have made so much money.
Tony, you made a killing. You made a killing, bro.
Huh?
You'd have made a killing, bro, if you bet.
I'll be motherfucking Floyd Mayweather right now if I had been putting money on these. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do, just for you. I am gonna I'm gonna go join a betting site. I don't know which one's the best one to join, but I'm gonna join one. I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna research it, and I'm gonna be like, what are the top 3 betting sites on the internet for sports? And whatever the top one is out of them top 3, I'm going to pick that one. I'm going to start with an account. And I'm going to put my money on Dillian White to start off my betting spree, right? And when I roll in that money, then the next one's going to be Kambosos beating the shit out of Devin Haney. The only question is, does he knock him out? I don't know. Like, all these predictions that I do where people doubt me time after time after time, they're like, there's no way Usyk could beat AJ on the scorecards. There's no way. There's no way that after the first round, people are going to be like, oh, shit, Kambosos is about to beat the shit out of Teal. All these crazy-ass predictions, maybe it's just the fact that they're not crazy. Maybe I might know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know. I would say the proof is in the pudding, but I'm about to put my money on it just for that comment.
Tony, I mean, you've been on a high ever since you bet on Usyk to beat AJ, and I'll give you that. But I mean, come on now, everybody everybody. Don't act like you're the only one who has predictions that you picked the underdog and you. I mean, come on now, everybody's done that too.
Look, Leonard. All my predictions come true. All of them.
You know, majority of mine do. You know, the majority of mine do
I'm
too.
not saying that you don't. I'm not saying that you don't. What I'm saying is all of mine. I'm batting home runs every time I step up to the plate, whether it be for the underdog or for the favorite. That's all. The only prediction that I got wrong, which I still got right because the guy won the fight, was Lomachenko. I said he was going to knock out Richard Comey. What I did not know was the motherfucker was going to take pity on the dude because he likes him and not go for the kill. What I did not know was that the fucking asshole was going to look at the corner and wave him to throw in the towel and quit fighting. I had no idea Lomachenko was going to do that. Had he pressed it, there's no doubts. Anybody who tells you that Lomachenko couldn't have stopped Comey if he wanted to is out their fucking mind.
I said Loma would stop him in rounds probably 7, 8, or 9. That's when, and he dropped him around 7 and could have got him out of there.
Could have got him out of there.
Yeah. But the thing is, Tony, I'm almost a majority, like 100% of my predictions are correct too. So I mean, you're not the only one. I'm not to poop on your party, but I mean, like, you know, there's other people in boxing who could got very good scores, percentage-wise scores, winning streaks as well. So I'm just saying.
I mean, Leonard, you know he's agreeing with you, right? He's saying that Spence will stop.
I agree with. Yeah, I know he's saying that. I know he's agreeing that he's picking Spence. But all I'm saying is, the only thing I disagree with is when he said he wasn't able to cut off the ring, and he brought up a point. He brought up a point when he said, he started bringing up power. I'm like, power has nothing to do with cutting off the ring. You could ask somebody. You could let's say Paulie Malignaggi with no power ass had Artebet BF power, right? Okay, and let's say that or Deontay Wilder or George Foreman power. At the end of the day, whether your power does not matter. Is are you able to cut off that ring? Now, if you don't have the power to keep somebody in there, then that's another thing. But were your feet able to cut it off and keep him there, or were your feet able to stick to him like glue? Yes or no? And that's what Errol Spence was able to do with Mikey Garcia. Now, whether he had the power to get him up out of there, that's a different story.
Leonard, you do realize that power 100% depends on your ability to be able to cut off the ring and put somebody in a position where you can hit them cleanly. You can have all the power in the world, but if you don't land cleanly, you're not going to knock them out.
But landing clean, I'm saying, Tony, landing cleanly has nothing to do with cutting off the ring.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does because it's about positioning. It's about, look, if I cannot stop you in your tracks, okay? If I cannot, whenever I land a shot on you, right? Instead of me hitting you and popping back, I'm grazing you because you're moving away from my punch. And although it may score, the full impact of my power is not being placed on you because you're moving away, and I couldn't stop you from doing that. I could not keep you from having that momentum working against me as I'm trying to hit you because you're moving the same way as my punch. So even though it lands on you, 70% of my power is now negated by my inability to put you in a position for me to be able to explode on you.
So how many punches did Earl land on Mikey? A lot, correct?
Right. But
of course, some of them are going to graze off, correct?
How many of those were grazing?
No, majority were not grazing. Majority of them were shots that landed. So that's my point.
He just said EJ didn't cut off the ring well versus Porter. Either.
Nobody cut off the ring well against Porter.
I mean, I think he struggled against Sean because he fought Sean's fight.
He fought Sean's fight.
Yeah, that fight.
But I'm just saying that's a poor example.
Y'all keep talking. I'm about to change clothes. The live's gonna come down here pretty soon. I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes, but I'm gonna come back. I'm just gonna throw like athletic wear real fast.
Okay, bet. Nobody cuts the ring off against Sean Porter. Who has ever cut the ring against Sean Porter like that?
Sean is a handful for everybody he's fought. I'll give him that.
That's what I'm saying. That's a poor example.
Yeah. He didn't cut off the ring because he did fight Sean's fight.
Yeah, there was no like showing of that. Like that's not the right fight to use because there was more of a pocket fight, correct? And Sean was turning him and spinning him, and they were just fighting. They were just fighting.
Sean is a pressure fight. He's a mauler. You know
what I mean?
He gets on the inside, so that's why he didn't make Spence look good. And Spence chose to just go there with him instead of doing what he does.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know why that guy brought up that fight.
But yeah, I'm not be it, but it's just like I'm not. I know you want Spence to win. I understand that. I want Bud to win. I understand that, but that's why this is what makes a good fight. But don't try to downplay Bud and underestimate him, man. Don't think
I know
like you
I'm
just
I'm
go
not
out
I'm
going
not
there
I'm
and
not
and
under
and
I'm
having
not
having
under I'm not under and he very well could beat Earl Spence. I would not bet money on this fight. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is simply this. I just don't. It's just when you say about him moving, he's not going to be able to move against Earl because Earl's going to cut off the ring on him. That's all I'm
well, we'll
saying.
see. I think you will.
I,
I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. You'll
there's
see.
no, there's no, there's no. He's facing somebody who's just too good at cutting off the ring for him to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Leonard,
Like you
say
brought up
I just think yeah. No,
you
no, no.
you 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 brought up Artebedebiev.
Yeah.
Like I was about to bring him up as a point. So we're seeing the same thing. We're
But I
seeing the
mean,
same thing. Like we know somebody who's
Artur
great
is
at cutting
way,
off the
way
ring.
better. He's way better at it than Spence's. He just is. He
I'm
is.
saying he doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the power. I'm saying he may be a little bit better, but I'm saying it's relatively close. And the thing about Artur Beterbiev, he has crazy power for his division, correct?
Yeah, he's like one of the
Oh,
top two biggest punchers, along with Joe
okay,
Smith.
okay,
Ironically,
okay.
yeah.
Then
So
fair. Earl Spence is not. So let's
no, he's
also
not.
we
He's
got to
not
take
that.
that we got to take that into consideration. Power has nothing to do with cutting off the ring, correct or incorrect?
It plays a factor. It does. It does help.
No, it doesn't play a factor.
It
The
does.
reason it'll play a factor if you getting that knockout and hurting the guy, sure. But if we're talking from a technical standpoint, being able to cut off the ring is using your feet, correct?
I mean, honestly, like you.
Yes or
I
no,
can
AJ?
honestly. Okay, ask. What was the question again?
Okay, cutting off the ring has to be
Right.
able to do with your feet, correct? You're using your
Yes, it
feet
does.
to cut off the ring, correct?
It does.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying power has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, okay. So like, you use your feet to cut off the ring, right?
Yes.
Then you would want to throw punches. You would want to use those punches to keep your opponent pretty much in place, like based on power shots. Pretty much, like Arthur.
No, I'm
I mean, just you would move, then you throw, and like if you could keep your opponent there without him getting away, then that's effectively cutting off the ring and also having good punching power as well. Then that would mean you cut off the ring.
No, I'm saying the punching power is just something that you're gifted with, and the punching power helps the person stay in the middle because it's just the power.
Yeah, if you're hurting them, that's
if
correct.
you hurt them,
yeah.
right? If you hurt them, you know what I'm saying. If you cutting off the ring, if you have no power, it is what it is. If you got no power, I mean, you know what I'm saying. It is what it is.
You'll see.
But I'm just saying, cutting off the
Terrence.
ring has to do with your footwork. That's what it has to do with your footwork.
Terrence is not going to stay there at first. You'll see. You'll see.
He's not. I don't think he's going to stay there. But I'm saying it doesn't matter because I was going to cut off the ring.
We'll see. We'll see. Don't worry. We'll see. We're going to find out. Don't worry.
All right.
Oh, we gonna see, man. I can't wait for this fight.
I can't wait because I mean, you know, I for years. I know some of the pro buff fans are changing their tunes now because they're like, wow. I didn't, and some of them are changing their tunes now.
I'm still picking Bud.
I know you're not. Your team. I remember you back in the day. You're still team Crawford all day. I know.
I gotta be. I'm sorry, man. You know what I mean? We gonna find out.
Because at the end of the day, like, you know, it's like as the old saying goes, you know, this is the hill I choose to die on, huh?
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. My predictions are not official till I make my predictions. So while I may have been favoring Bud,
you may change your mind.
Fight, while I'm right now favoring EJ, I'd say it's a 55-45 for EJ in his favor. When it comes, because here's what I do, and unfortunately, I have the mistake of I jump on other people's panels and I run my fucking mouth. And then I've heard other channels, I'm not gonna call out their names, but they do predictions that are damn near what I say verbatim on other people's panels when I open up my mouth. So what I've got to start doing is either do videos like this with predictions so people can see that they copy on what the fuck I say, or I just do what I normally do, wait till the weigh-ins and then do my actual prediction breakdown right after the weigh-ins because I want to see what they look like on the scales. Because somebody's weight drained or something, I need to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're struggling or they miss weight several times, I need to see it before I do it because that changes everything. And I don't want to do a prediction video twice. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I disagree with him being this great master at cutting off the ring. I just don't think he is. I think he has good attributes. Cutting off the ring, I don't think that's one of his best attributes. I don't. I really don't.
That's fair. We can agree to disagree.
I mean, Where was his cutting off the ring great whenever Kell Brook was dancing around him, beating the shit out of him?
Kell Brook was never dancing around him. Kell Brook was jabbing the shit out of him coming forward.
He was landing on him left and right, and that was a look.
But hold on, you said dancing. When was he dancing,
more
Tony?
credit for beating Kell Brook than Bud, but he still had the same Kell Brook, a weight drain Kell Brook that did not belong at 147 pounds. And truth be told, had Kell Brook never went up to 160 and fought Triple G,
who knows what would have happened?
Who knows what would happen? Exactly. Who knows about
the way that he was fighting Spence? I think he would have beat Spence. I believe he would have beat Spence if he would have never fought Triple G. If he would have never fought him, never went to 160, then try to come back down and take off all that muscle he put on, because he was very muscle bound at 160. It just
Tony, if had a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
We would.
If does I say this?
Kell Brook ruined his own boxing career.
If had a fifth,
but I still give Kell credit for taking the fight, even though he. Hey, he tried. He stepped up, and honestly, like despite what happened, that's honestly one of my favorite fights that I saw Kell Brook in. It was still a good fight.
Look. Kell, when he lost to Triple G, had only two options: one, go to 154, or stay at 160. Whenever he went back to 147, it was the dumbest fucking thing he ever did. Let me change that. It was the second dumbest thing he ever did. When he went back to 147 to fight Crawford, that was the dumbest fucking thing he ever did. Like
that was the dumbest thing. You saw like
a zombie on the scales.
He looked like a zombie on the scales. Yeah. Absolute fucking zombie.
But I did agree with you guys how he won. He was winning the first two rounds until the third, where Crawford switched to southpaw. Then he
fourth round.
It was third.
I agree with you, Tyrese.
You mean he stopped him? He stopped him in the fourth.
He stopped him in the fourth, but he switched to southpaw in third, and then that's when the trajectory of the fight changed. Then in the fourth, he got him up out of there, man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wrap this live up. I gotta get off. I got some stuff I gotta do. We done changed clothes, not on camera. Maybe I would have got more views if I did it on camera. Next time we'll do it on camera. Let the abs show. But anyways, y'all have a good day. I appreciate both y'all jumping on my panel. AJ, you still got Bud. Leonard, you've always had EJ. Me, I'm leaning towards EJ.
No, AJ, don't try to be changing his mind. He's like, no, you were always Team Bud.
But I will say this: what's a big fish to a fisherman? Nothing.
What the hell? I'll get out of here.
We gonna see. We
gonna see.
We'll find out.
Regardless, can we just agree that this is gonna be a great fight?
Yeah, hopefully it happens this year.
It's gonna great.
Yeah. This fight is on the levels of like Serrano, Katie Taylor. It's on the levels of the winner.
Do you think it's a modern day? I mean, this is our version of Sugar Ray versus Hagler or Hearns.
I don't know. Because the thing is, maybe, possibly, but I don't know. Because EJ just, to me, with all the fights he's had, and in today's era, a lot of fighters have already won 2 weight classes, if not 3 weight class titles, and not just stayed stagnant in one like EJ. It's kind of like Triple G. People try to say how great of a middleweight he is. And granted, if he would have beat Canelo like he should have, a lot more people would give him a lot more praises. But at the end of the day, in the era of guys who don't stay in one weight class, he's only been at 160. So how great is Triple G by today's standards? I don't know.
And I agree with that, Tony. I'm just saying when it comes to undefeated prime, we're not talking about accomplishments.
It could be, but after this fight, if EJ wins, I need to see what he does at 154, possibly 160, to really give him a claim like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that he has, by today's standards, a lot more to prove by going up in weight if he can conquer the 147 division, because this is Bud's third weight class, not his first one, his third one.
That's right.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
Let me end the stream. Y'all have a good day. Thank y'all for joining.
All right. Peace out, man.
All right. Bye.